Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and this is my top 10 comic books of the week. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is my top 10 comic books of the week. Not a spec list, just the 10 comic books that I thought were the best, the strongest of an already strong, yet small, new comic book day. Welcome everybody into the live feed. We're doing this live tonight. We're doing it. Let's get into it. At number 10, we've got Black Widow, number 4, written by Kelly Thompson, with artwork by Elena Casagrande, and it's from Marvel Comics. Black Widow has been impressing me more and more as the issues progress. There's amazing artwork in here. Casagrande's artwork is absolutely fantastic. You got beautiful, clean line work, and then you have really kinetic, highly charged action scenes that are super nifty and cool. This is written by Kelly Thompson, and what she's doing is she's telling a typical type action movie kind of story. This isn't a story that we've never seen before, but she's doing character work with Natasha that really hasn't been done before. So it's got the drama, it's got the character work, it's got the sleek, cool, sophisticated superhero spy action type stuff, and it's got some great villains. All in all, Black Widow has been super impressing me from Kelly Thompson, Elena Casagrande, and company. That's number 10 on the list. At number 9, another Marvel book. A strong week from Marvel. I think Marvel had one of the worst years as far as publishers go, as far as content as well, but they were really kicking it up here at the end in December. At number 9, we have MODOK Head Games. Now, this one is written by Jordan Blum with and Patton Oswalt with artwork by Scott Hepburn. Now, what MODOK is it's a silly, fun book, but it never betrays the character of MODOK. The artwork is super comic booky. It's exactly what you would expect, and it's fun. And it handles the comic book action, and it handles all the super BA scenes. Look at that War Machine right there. I like the artwork, but what really shines in this is the story. Patton Oswalt, of course, is doing an upcoming animated MODOK film, so you got to get a MODOK miniseries out there. And it's great. They're actually doing character work with MODOK and still making it a rather fun and ridiculous comic book. If you're a MODOK fan, or even if you're not, and you just wanted to maybe be like, what's up with this MODOK guy? Check it out. Number 9 on the list this week, MODOK Head Games. At number 8, we got Erratic. Number 1 from AWA, Upshot. Now, this one's from Care Andrews. It's written and illustrated by him, and I love Care Andrews' artwork. He's got such a nice mix of styles. I've always been a fan. Sometimes this stuff looks super painterly. Sometimes it looks epic. Sometimes it looks rather typical as far as a comic book goes. But in this book, the way that he shifts his style through the pages and great luscious backgrounds, you can tell it's obviously aided by computers, but what art isn't today? But I absolutely have always been a fan of Carrie Andrews, and this is a really cool book. So it's about a kid superhero who gets powers for 10 minutes at a time. So it's kind of like Our Man, but the 10-minute kid, something like that. But it's an interesting book. It's set in the world of the Reborns, which is the world of the Resistance. But don't feel like you have to have read the Resistance to get into this one. This is just a great, solid indie superhero book that is connected, but not connected so much to the point where you have to even read or understand. You just need to know that this is a world populated by superheroes. So there you go. At number 8, that was Erratic, number 1 from AWA. At number 7, we've got Daredevil, number 25. This book's kind of heating up a little bit, isn't it? Well, it's because something crazy happens in it. Now, I approve of the craziness that happens towards the end of this issue. But the big deal is we got Marco Cicchetto back. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Chip Zdarsky is writing one of Marvel's best comics out there. And I love that he embraces the superhero legacy of Marvel, right? Like silly things like, yes, Daredevil is in prison wearing his mask. It's so ridiculous. That would never happen, but so much stuff happens in the Marvel Universe that would never happen in the real world that we just embrace it and accept it, and that's what Zdarsky's doing, and that's great. But this book really shines when Cicchetto is on the artwork. This is a fire issue. It involves Elektra. It involves her basically going into Matt's prison to be like, yo, what are you really up to here? This is actually a pretty decent jumping on point for Daredevil. If you've missed the last couple years and you've heard all the hype that it's one of Marvel's best books, which it is, you could jump in here. But all it's going to do is make you want to go back, get the trades, and get caught up. That's at number 7, Daredevil number 25. Marvel, making a statement this week in the top 10. At number 6, though, we've got Firepower. Number 6, I love Firepower. Let me tell you something about this book. This, to me, 6 issues in, plus we had the Prelude graphic novel. So basically, we have 2 trade paperbacks worth of content. So now I feel like I can adequately say this, or accurately say this, I should say. This is the best written Robert Kirkman book that in my opinion, seriously. I know a lot of people like The Walking Dead, which also has its color deluxe issue out today. I was always, Walking Dead's okay. There's a lot of talking, the Talking Dead. We joke about it all the time. Man, I feel like that's just something prevalent in a lot of Robert Kirkman scripts. Then you get to Firepower. This book, I think it's great because Kirkman is able to tell a great concept and a great story, but he's able to build very intriguing and compelling characters with real relationships, with some gravity behind it. He's able to do it with very little words comparatively to his other work. And I think that's exceptional. I definitely think it's a step up for him as a creator. Of course, he's aided by Chris Samnee and Matt Wilson. Matt Wilson's colors are luscious and beautiful. And the artwork. Chris Samnee does action like only a few other people in comic books today actually can. And he does it in such a great, balanced way that really does feel innovative and just free and loose and supremely kinetic at the same time. Firepower is a great book. This has some nice turns. This has some nice revelations. And it's just super fun. Firepower at number 6. So now we're getting into the top 5. I want to once again say hello to everybody joining us live. Station. Hell yeah. Now let's get into the top 5. At number 5, I've got Knock 'em Dead number 1 from Aftershock Comics, written by Elliot Ray Hall, with artwork by Mattia Monaco. Really like this book. The basic premise is this. It's about this dude who has a dream to be a stand-up comedian. So he starts going to these open mic nights, and he just sucks. He's a terrible comedian. He can't get a laugh out of the crowd for nothing. So what the book does, I realize I stopped showing you guys the artwork. So what the book does is it tells the story in a very cool way. So he's getting these ideas, he goes on stage, and the way that we see the sequence and the passing of time and how it's just getting to him, right? It's incredibly well done. Like that page right there. That's super, super fun. And it has a twist at the end. I don't really want to spoil the twist, even though the twist is spoiled in the solicitations for the book. But the issue number 1 itself, that's kind of building up to that. But this is really cool. A great indie book from Elliot Ray Hall, a great writer. I really love his work. Hot Lunch Special, the cult classic books over at Vault, Bleed Them Dry, Midnight Vista, super, super cool. Plus, this was the book that Bueller had his very first official Comics with Bueller exclusive cover for. They are already sold out, but how cool and nifty is that? Knock 'em Dead number 1, his number 5 on the list from Aftershock. Aftershock has really had a come up this year as an indie creator. At number 4, we've got, grown, Batman Catwoman number 1. I actually like this book. I didn't like it so much at first as I was reading it, but it really started sinking in on me. And that's something that a lot of this Tom King, more introspective work can do. Like things like his 12-issue series, usually with like C or D-list characters. We're talking about Strange Adventures. We're talking about Mr. Miracle. We're talking about the Omega Men. We're talking about Vision. He's given the same treatment here to Batman Catwoman. Now, this, of course, is a coda, an epilogue, if you will, to his run, though not firmly set in continuity. It is DC Black Label, which means that artist Clay Mann gets to put a lot of thirsty artwork in here. But I really like the story. It picks up on the themes left dangling from the Tom King Batman run as far as the romance goes. It gets into the idea of his projected future in which Batman has died from cancer at an old age. And so it has 3 different scenes, some in the past, some in the present, some in the future. And it's also introducing fully into comic book form, I should say, even though not necessarily continuity, it's introducing fully the idea of the Phantasm. That's right. And it is the Phantasm from Mask of the Phantasm. And Tom King and company really actually take a darker turn with it, which I think is super, super cool. Really liked it. Batman Catwoman #1, something, as I was reading it, felt disjointed, felt disconnected. When I got to the end, it really tied everything together, and over the last few days, it's really sunk in, and I'm actually kind of transfixed with this comic book. And Clayman's artwork is sharp, and like I said, incredibly sexy. At number 3, we've got Strange Adventures #7, another Tom King book, and I'm loving this book. It's a great exploration on Adam Strange as a sci-fi war hero. What does that mean? What does that entail? How does that separate Adam Strange from your typical DC superhero? That really gets explored in here. You got beautiful artwork from Mitch Gerrits and Doc Shaner. 2 different styles that shouldn't go together, but actually go together very well. The entire time we have had great psychedelic artwork in this stuff too. Doc Shaner's doing amazing work there. I believe they do their own coloring as well. But this is just such a great book, great artwork. And they're telling 2 stories. They've been telling 2 stories, one set in the past, one in the present day. And really just highlighting the dichotomy of this character, of his place in the DC universe. And that's reflected in the story and in the artwork, which I think is just utterly genius. I think this is some of the best character exploration on Adam Strange I've ever read, is in Strange Adventures #7. It makes number 3 on the top 10 this week's. I'm sorry for the ones that I forgot to hold up to the whatever. Number 2. Let's get to number 2. It's Thor #10. Y'all, books like Thor #10 and #1, and we all know what that is, but books like these are why I got into comic books. Wild, crazy, fun stuff that feels impactful, even though it's giving us the illusion of change. It feels impactful, it feels real, it feels eventful, and it's just fun. This is a great concept that Donny Cates has come up with here. Donald Blake, Thor used to be a dude who tapped his, cane on the ground and he became Thor, right? That's the early Jack Kirby, Stan Lee stuff, right? And Donald Blake has kind of been forgotten here and there and barely utilized, and Donny Cates is doing something interesting. So this is basically presenting the return of Donald Blake. Donald Blake ain't happy because when Thor's on Earth and Donald Blake, where is he? He's in this other world that Odin crafted for him, right? So it's pulling from Thor continuity and classic stories. But he's pissed. Once he finds out some things, he gets super mad, and this is nothing but Donald Blake as this new villainous form, just tearing ass through Asgard. I loved it. The artwork by Nick Klein is great. It's a little bit more loose than typically what I am used to from his Thor work. His Thor work felt more sturdy and heavy in the first few issues. This one feels a bit more loose and free, but it also actually fits the idea that this is Donald Blake and maybe things are a little off, a little wrong. And the coloring by Matt Wilson is just great. I love how Matt Wilson can switch his style. One of the books I forgot to show off was Firepower, but just look at how he can actually switch his style to be appropriate to the book and the artist that he's coloring. Really great stuff. Look at those action scenes. They snap, crackle, and pop. And at #1, it's King in Black. King in Black #1, Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, J.P. Meyer, and Frank Martin, I believe. I really got to highlight the coloring and the inking here because I didn't do that on my weekly comic book review, which, by the way, very sorry for the lateness of that. I had some major internet problems overnight. So, luckily, it seems to be all fixed now. One of the reasons why I did this live was to test to make sure I can go live, because tomorrow night I got a chat with a fellow YouTuber and comic book creator, and that's super cool. Let me show you some of this artwork. This is Ryan Stegman's best work of his career, to me, is in this single issue. And if you like Todd McFarlane, brothers and sisters and everyone else, you need to check this out. There are double page spreads in King in Black that are just gorgeous. Plus the moments that they are conveying should have that weight behind it, and the art totally gives it. Now, I'm not going to spoil this book, so I'm just going to show you the first few pages. But the artwork is detailed, and it's great. And Donny Cates, we've had a lot of build-up to this damn story, and I know that we all joke about it. Null's coming. When? Well, he's here. He's arrived. And was it worth it? Definitely, it's the pick of the week. And of course it's the pick of the week, and it's just awesome because it's been this long build-up to Null's arrival. And when Null shows up, It just is like no time wasted, balls to the wall. Let's throw it all out there. And I love the idea about this. This is a threat that the Marvel Universe actually has a little bit of notice for. So they have plans. They think they know what to do. Y'all, they get murked so freaking bad. This book was awesome. This is why I read comic books. These were the kind of comic books that I loved reading when I was a kid. This feels big, eventful, meaningful, at least in the first issue. And I know we still got a long way to go. But so far, so great. And I'm really, really pumped. And it's a great legacy along the lines of things like Secret Wars, Age of Apocalypse, and of course, Infinity Gauntlet. But some of my other favorite events were like Onslaught. Really like that one. I'm going to show you this X-Men page. Is Ryan Stegman not just like, oh my goodness. This is amazing. He's like today's Todd McFarlane. You know, Todd McFarlane said this in his documentary. He said he learned with Spawn, like all you really have to do is just have like 1 or 2 moments in a comic book that really hit hard and that are big and explosive and people will love it. This book's got like 20 of them and I loved it. I thought it was absolutely great. And that's my top 10. So let's run through it one more time. And then I got a special honorable mention here. At number 10, we have Black Widow, number 4. At number 9, we have MODOK Head Games, number 1. At number 8, we've got Erratic, number 1 from AWA. At number 6, we have Daredevil, number 25. That's one of the ones I forgot to show you. That's the only one I forgot to show you artwork from. Let's show you that beautiful Marco Cicchetto artwork. Oh my goodness. And I love a great Elektra story, and this is turning into a really cool exploration on Matt and Elektra's relationship. And every time Marco is on one of these books, it's great. At number 5, we had Knock 'em Dead, number 1. Be sure to try to scope out the Bueller variant if you can. Maybe some people are trying to, spec on it and upsell it on eBay right now. You can overpay for it. That'd be great. Batman, Catwoman. By the way, Bueller didn't see any of that. So now Bueller understands, just like Marvel and DC, who cares about the aftermarket? They don't. Batman, Catwoman, number 1 was number... man, I messed this all up. Number 7. Number 6 was Firepower. Number 5 is Knock 'em Dead. Number 4 is Batman, Catwoman. Number 3 is Strange Adventures, number 7. Number 2 is Thor, number 10. And number 1 is King in Black, number 1. So that's my top 10. What's your top 10? What are your favorite comic books of the week? Let us know in the comments down below if you're watching this not live. But I do got an honorable mention. I finally got a copy of this Chex Quest anthology. If you don't know about Chex Quest, bruh. Plus it's got an intro from James from the Angry Video Game Nerd. I first heard about Chex Quest from that video, so I was really, really excited. This was given out to some shops. It was supposed to be distributed for free. We only got a small handful. But if you're a fan, there you go. And if you don't know, now you know. Chex Quest by Chex Mix. Download for free on Steam. There you go. Anyway, that's the top 10. That's what we're doing. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you joining us. Let us know in the comments below, what are your favorite comic books of the week? What's your top 5? What's your top 10? And like Jim Mint just said, go check out his Vampirilla variant now on Indiegogo. I saw him post that up in the Geminites group. I got to go check that out myself. Anyway, if you want to chat a little bit more, I'll probably do a pop-up live stream here in just a few minutes. But thank you for watching. We are out. Have fun.